Mr. Nightspyder here, and today we're taking a look at another Transformers Studio series. We have Autobot Perceptor. This is from the Transformers movies, you can see there, and it comes with two mini-cons, Decepticon Ratbat and Autobot Ramhorn. One for Blaster, one for Soundwave. Nothing going on here. And on the back we have a picture from the movie, from the scene it was inspired by. And then you have Perceptor, you have the mini-cons, and then you have his alternate mode. And this side actually has a graphic image on there. But enough from me. Let's crack this guy open and see what's good. And here we have Perceptor in his robot mode. I let my boys do the posing, and I think they did a good job. Now this guy comes with a bunch of accessories, but they're not really for him. The first accessory you have is the Ratbat. So it's a Decepticon minicon that usually goes in Soundwave's chest. But as you can see here, it's a fairly simple transformation. You fold the wings down like so. Open them up. His head has a double hinge, but it's so stiff, I can't get in there to grip it and move the head forward. And I'm scared that this plastic is such a tiny piece, I don't want to break it. But there you have Ratbat. Let's see if he can even stand. Yeah, he can stand. There you go. That's interesting. And this is a little frustrating because in a lot of the advertising, if you look on the package, if you look online, this is shown as a weapon that Perceptor is holding, but in actuality, it is another piece. Oops. That completes Ratbat. Let me get this back together here. Oh, that's dumb. Okay, here we go. So then this plugs into the peg here, and we have officially completed the Ratbat transformation. There you have it. Which is funny because his feet actually can hold him up, and these little rocket packs on the back are actually making him tilt a little because it's longer than his feet, like maybe ever so slightly. So, but still, cool accessory. I mean, it's a really good way to get some of those cassette mini-cons, because if you look online for the 2-packs of some of the Siege or I can't remember the next line, maybe even Legacy, you're looking $25-50 to get it. Well, you get this figure for Voyager price, $30-35. I got mine for $30. You're getting Perceptor, and you're getting some of those cassettes. Another cassette you get Autobot Ramhorn. This one is pretty also simple to transform. You just kind of push this here. If I can do it. And that will flip the head around. And then his feet are tucked in the side. So you just grab the little tabs to pull them out. They actually have to fold back in a particular order. You have to put the rear one, then the front one. It doesn't work the other way around. I've tried. And then you bring them down. Then you get in there with your fingernail, bring the horn up, and then you have Ramhorn. But you're not done yet, because again, a little part of the frustration, they tote this, if you're looking in the pictures, as a gun for Perceptor. But this is essential to complete Ramhorn's transformation, because it plugs in like so. It slides underneath him, and then you have these tabs here to close, to lock it in place, and then you have a fully transformed Ramhorn. So again, this is probably the more affordable way nowadays to get some of these cassette minicons. Now let's take a look at Perceptor. Let me get him in kind of like an A stance here. So my son and I were both looking at it and we were like, wow, they actually did a really good job on the head sculpt and the painting. And this Perceptor is based, as you saw in the package, off the Transformer movie. I believe it was back in '86. But it looks really good. Like, it's very clean and simple paint here. You see a little bit of blotches in these corners. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but it still looks pretty good. You can see here, this is actually just like the plastic, no paint on there, but that's probably just use the red plastic on there. You got some paint here. You can see where it kind of ends there, and you got paint here. A lot of good molded sculpting. Like, I wish they did something with these tracks. That would have been cool, especially for its alternate mode. I was fooled for a second. I was looking at this. I'm like, man, this looks like metal or something, and it's not. But I don't think it is, because it doesn't feel that heavy. But I could be fooled into thinking that the way this material is, it could be maybe a die-cast piece. But I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. And so after you look at the accessories it came with that are not necessarily meant for him, it's basically from a scene from the movie. This is his gun. And if you feel like doing it, I always did it as a kid with the OG one. This cannon, the magnifying glass can be his cannon. Why not? Right? Why not? Why does it have to be a certain way? Right? This looks like it's leaning a little bit. It should be like that, but it's kind of leaning. Ugh, that's gonna drive me crazy. All in all, I actually like the articulation on this guy. Obviously with these guys with their heads, because it's just a ball peg on here, you can't get a lot out of that. It's just a little bit of like a wiggle waggly there. But you have 360 degree articulation. You can see the ball peg there. You have the upper mushroom tip swivel, single joint, and then no wrist rotation, but just only for transformation. It folds like that. The cool thing, I don't know if you call it cool, but you can get a little, since this piece comes out, you can, if you take the right angle, you can get a little extra out of the elbow, depending if you're doing photos, using that joint part of the transformation. The waist swivel, I didn't even check that or when I was messing with it, but yeah, 360 degree on the waist. Kicks forward that far, kicks back. This guy has a lot of range due to the nature of his transformation. Full Van Damme would make Van Damme blush. But all in all, it's a solid figure. I think it's a real bonus that you get some of those cassette minicons with him. Definitely. The one thing, I would say this is almost a perfect figure. The one thing that drives me crazy is you have this hinge here for transformation. If you know Perceptor, this is part of the transformation. So it looks bad looking forward, and then sometimes, like when you're messing around with it, it just unlocks, because it's not even a ratchet. It's just a pin, and it looks like there's a little bit of tabs trying to keep it in place, but it just lining the thigh up and keeping it like that, it can be annoying. But it would have been a cool feature if they would have made something where the foot could rotate. You'd be able to turn it this way, then you'd get an additional range of motion, like a double jointed knee, and then you'd be able to rotate the lower knee. But you can't do that. It ends up just going like that. But that would have been a good feature to at least give that option. But no, you're stuck only with the one. I mean, it is what it is. But all in all, I'm happy with this. Now, let's transform him. I like this transformation. because it is simple and it is not cumbersome. So just basically get this out of the way. Put in the fist. Open the back. So you got to put in all the external limb parts. So the fists are away, the head's away. We are like more than halfway there. Well, a quarter of the way there, let's say. Lower this part so that you can see that it can go that way. So again, lower, and then you got to rotate the arms. Okay, so that's, we're almost done with the top. This part will come out, or the, I guess you would say the lenses, and then it goes this way. Then I was worried at first, like, what the hell? This piece comes out and provides additional support. So that's holding all that in place right here. And then now we have the microscope ready to use, and that looks more even than on the robot mode. Then now the arms, you see a little tab there, a recession there. That is going to tab into the side. And both sides. This one's a little weird, but let's see if I get, there we go. So we got that in. So the top part is done for the most part. Then you're going to spread the legs. Rotate it so that the mushroom, you can see the mushroom tip. That's what it looks like in the instructions anyway. Now, your mileage may vary, but you may want to rotate this down a little bit so that it gets more in line with the treads. And what I mean by that is there's this little notch here that sticks out, and it keeps the unit stable. If you keep the legs, if you rotate it back up like on this side, it's going to kind of wiggly waggle on when you have it set down, because there's this part is going to be significantly higher than the rest of the legs. Bring the feet in like that. Let's do it again here. Bring the toes down, and then you fold it in, and then you open the chest. And there you have Perceptor. And even then, it's still a little waggly. Maybe I did it backwards. Let me try it again. Okay, that, I think that was, maybe I did it the other way before and that was wrong. Yeah, this is the stable way. This is more stable. See? This is better. My mistake. So you want to make sure you have like a, I guess you would say a V shape here by his upper thighs. So when you transform him, everything holds in place. So, and there we have Perceptor in his alternate mode. And then according to the photos, this just plugs in on the side, the gun. But it doesn't plug in very well. This thing has a tight grip for all the ports it goes in other than the hand. But there is some type of weapon storage. So I'm sure you could put it on this side if you prefer. But all in all, happy to have a Transformers the movie Perceptor in my collection. I don't have too many Autobots. I really got to beef up my Autobot collection there. And it's very simple. I mean, I would have liked, the only thing, like I said, other than the thighs driving me nuts the way they bend, it would have been cool to see some kind of tank mode. I mean, you have the treads here, and it would have just been awesome to do something with that, where you can, you know, he's a tank, you know. That would have just been so cool. But they are staying true to, you know, true to form, and you know, I respect that. I guess that's stable too, holding it that way as well. Now, questions. Let's answer some questions, because I know my sons had these questions. So we got Blaster. We got Blaster here. Okay. Let me get back a little bit. we have Blaster. And these Minicons, these little cassette Minicons, will fit in his chest. You can see here. There goes Ramhorn. Closes, no problem. Getting him out, he's a little tight, but it does fit. No problem. Ratbat also fits, no problem. This is probably the weaker transformation from the two, though, because it's so, like, this looks good both ways. This one you can see the whole thing, but I'm getting a little carried away here. Also will fit, no problem. Which also means if you have a Soundwave, because this is the same type of cassettes that the Soundwave uses, it will fit in Soundwave as well. So you essentially got a new Minicon for Blaster and a new one for Soundwave. The only thing, my only wish, is if that these accessories were incorporated in the transformation mode, because by just how I am, how I'm going to display Blaster now is he's going to have Ramhorn in him, and he's going to, by default, because I need him to hold the accessory because there's nowhere else to put it otherwise, and I'm going to have eject out and transformed. And that essentially is going to be how I keep my Blaster out now with his Minicons. No, this guy's head stuck. That was something I commented on my video about him. So yeah, this is essentially how I'm going to keep him. Obviously, I'm going to display him a little better, but that's how I'm going to keep him. Ratbat, I'm probably going to just let my son keep him, because my son has a Soundwave that he purchased, I believe a Siege Soundwave, and he has no Minicons, so I'm gonna let him do that. Keep that with him. But happy to have Perceptor and the bonus of some new Minicons to the collection. Definitely worth the buy. I picked this guy up with the 2 Minicons at Target. It was on clearance for $29.99, so you're saving $5 off the regular retail. But I think on Hasbro Pulse they still sell it for $39.99. I could be wrong there, but go ahead and check around. If this guy's still available at Target, I would recommend getting him if he's on clearance, because you're getting some Minicons at affordable price. You're not spending $50 for like 2. Anyway, this is the Nightspyder Collector signing out. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.